if you know Excel, SQL, and Power BI, does that make you a data scientist? Well, the answer is no. Let me quickly explain the difference between a data scientist and also a data analyst, because these two roles are often, confused. Yeah, so let's think about a business that sells clothes, right? So a data analyst look at the data of that business and answer business questions like how much are we selling, what products sold the most, why the sales dropped last month. And to do all of this, the data analyst needs to like Excel, SQL, and Power BI, and sometimes Python to to clean the data, to analyze the data, and also to turn the data into useful information that the business will use to understand, are they growing as a business or are they not making sales as a business. So in simple terms, a data analyst looks at what happened in the business and help the business to understand the why. Now, what about a data scientist? A data scientist, instead of asking what happened, why the sales drop, a data scientist go further to predict. They might ask questions like, based on our previous data, what is likely going to happen next? So a data scientist is more of like a predictive, person, or expertise, somebody who predicts the future, what is going to happen next. They use based on their previous data, they study the previous data, right, and then they go further to predict what is likely going to happen in the business. So they use tools like Python or R, yes. So while a data analyst might need a little Python skill, a data scientist needs to know or master Python, because this is the very, very important tool that they use to predict, to analyze data. So a data scientist uses Python. A data scientist can also use machine learning. It can use statistics and other advanced techniques to make this prediction. So let's think of it this way. A data scientist, asks what happened next, right? How can we predict it? While a data analyst asks what happened and why. A data analyst asks what happened and why did it happen. A data scientist asks what might happen next. Can we predict it? So that's the key difference. So the type of work that a data analyst does is building reports, turning reports, building dashboards, trends, KPIs, and also business insights. Why a data scientist uses predictive models, right? The type of work that a data scientist does involves predictive models, machine learning, and also forecasting, the forecast for the future. The tools of a data analyst involves Excel, SQL, Power BI, and sometimes Python, while the tools of a data scientist involves mainly it is Python, right? Mainly the main tool of a data scientist is Python or R. They also use SQL, machine learning libraries, and also statistical tools. What about the level of mathematics? So for a data analyst, you might not be doing so many programming, right? So what is required of you is just a little of statistical knowledge, right? And for a data scientist, you're going to be doing a whole lot of programming, especially in Python and R. So it is much more important for a data scientist to know, a really high amount or level of mathematics. So what about business examples? So let's say, imagine a telecom company, right? A data analyst might ask, why is our customers leaving, or did our customer increase by 10% this month? So which customers are leaving and what are the factors associated with it? But a data scientist will now come and say, not actually come and say shit. They'll actually build a model to predict which customers left the other time, right? And which of our customers are likely going to churn next month. Yeah, so if you're just starting out in data or your data career, don't feel pressure to jump into data science right away. What you need to do is just start by learning how to analyze data, start by learning how to understand business problems, how do you communicate the insight that you have analyzed. Yeah, this is already a valuable skill that you need. So you can go from being a data analyst to becoming a data scientist. I hope you find this helpful. I'll be seeing you in the next video where I'll be explaining more differences of the different terms that we have in data. Cheers.